Did you know that one of the most profound ways to transform life's challenges into stepping stones for growth was uncovered over 2,000 years ago? Picture yourself standing in the midst of life's storms, but instead of being overwhelmed, you face them with an unshakable calm. It almost sounds like a superpower, doesn't it? Yet this isn't a fantasy, it's a philosophy, a timeless guide for resilience and purpose that originated in the vibrant marketplaces and regal halls of ancient Greece and Rome. It's called Stoicism, and it holds the keys to a life of strength, clarity, and contentment, no matter what comes your way. What if I told you Stoicism isn't about retreating from emotions, but about mastering them? It's about turning the unpredictable chaos of life into an arena where you can thrive, not just survive. It's a blueprint for action, a way of living that helps you navigate stress, overcome adversity, and find joy in the smallest moments. Imagine living with a mindset so grounded that even the uncertainties of today's world can't shake you. That's the power of Stoicism. Every day we face small tests, the kind that poke and prod at our patience, an unexpected traffic jam, a sudden rainstorm ruining your plans, or a harsh comment on social media. These moments feel insignificant on the surface, but have an uncanny ability to derail our mood and peace of mind. But here's the twist. What if these very challenges were opportunities? Opportunities to practice one of Stoicism's greatest lessons, focusing on what's within our control. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's luminaries, had a gem of wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Think about that. The traffic, the rain, the negative comment, these are external forces completely out of our hands. But how we choose to react, that's entirely within our control. This shift in perspective isn't just ancient philosophy, it aligns with modern psychology too. Carl Jung, a pioneer of the mind, once said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Both Stoicism and psychology point to the same truth. Our reactions shape our reality. Take a moment to imagine you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. It's easy to feel frustration bubbling up, to pound the steering wheel and mutter angrily under your breath. But stop for a second. The cars aren't going to move faster because you're upset. What if, instead, you took a deep breath, accepted the delay, and turned that time into something valuable? Maybe you listen to a podcast, immerse yourself in an audiobook, or let your favorite music carry you away. The situation hasn't changed, but your approach has. That subtle shift can transform stress into serenity, frustration into focus. This principle extends far beyond traffic jams. It's about how we approach life itself. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of Stoicism's greatest minds, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words remind us that our internal world is our fortress. When we choose to focus on what's within our control, our thoughts, our actions, and our attitude, we reclaim our power. We become architects of our own happiness. The beauty of this mindset is that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Life will keep testing us, and we'll sometimes stumble, but every moment offers another chance to choose differently. It's in those choices, repeated consistently, that we find our strength. So next time you feel your peace slipping away because of something outside your control, pause and ask yourself, is this within my power to change? If the answer is no, let it go. Redirect your energy towards your reaction, your mindset, and your next step forward. Stoicism also teaches us something radical. Embrace obstacles. Yes, you heard that right. What if the roadblocks in your path weren't hindrances, but stepping stones? Marcus Aurelius had a powerful way of framing this. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. It's a reminder that challenges don't just test us, they shape us. They force us to grow, to adapt, and to become wiser versions of ourselves. Imagine facing rejection, a job application denied, a dream deferred. It's easy to spiral into self-doubt, questioning your worth. But what if you saw each rejection as a lesson, a chance to sharpen your skills, refine your approach, and get closer to the goal in ways you hadn't imagined? Each setback becomes a teacher, each hurdle a reminder that growth often hides in the struggle. The truth is, obstacles aren't here to stop us, they're here to transform us. They challenge our perspective, demand our resilience, and push us towards possibilities we might never have considered otherwise. So the next time life throws you a curveball, don't shrink back. Pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Because in that moment, you're not just enduring the storm, you're becoming stronger because of it. This is just the beginning of Stoicism's profound wisdom, and the journey ahead promises even more insights to help you navigate life with grace, resilience, and a newfound sense of purpose. Imagine this. You're at a crossroads, facing a challenge that feels insurmountable. Maybe it's a loss, a betrayal, or a setback that has left you questioning your path. It's in these moments of doubt and despair that Stoicism shines its brightest light. The Stoics had a way of reframing adversity, turning what seems like an obstacle into an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words, though ancient, resonate deeply today. They remind us that our greatest battles are fought not in the external world, but within ourselves. Think about how often we let external circumstances dictate our happiness. We scroll through social media, comparing our lives to highlight reels, feeling inadequate or envious. We allow a harsh word from a stranger or an unforeseen setback to ruin our day. But what if, instead of surrendering to these forces, we took a step back and questioned their hold over us? This is the essence of Stoicism, reclaiming the power that lies in our reactions, in our choices, and in our perspective. The Stoics were masters of perspective. Take Epictetus, for example. Born into slavery, his life was filled with hardship. Yet, despite his circumstances, he rose to become one of the most influential philosophers of his time. How did he do it? By focusing on what he could control, his thoughts, his actions, and his attitude. He famously taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Epictetus understood that freedom isn't about external circumstances, it's about mastering your inner world. Now, let's bring this idea into the present. Imagine you've been criticized at work. The feedback stings, and your first instinct might be to defend yourself or wallow in self-pity. But what if you paused and reframed the situation? What if, instead of taking the criticism personally, you saw it as a chance to grow? By shifting your perspective, you transform the feedback from an attack into a tool for self-improvement. This is the Stoic way, finding value in every experience, even the uncomfortable ones. But Stoicism isn't just about weathering life's storms, it's about thriving in them. The Stoics believed that adversity is a crucible, a forge where our character is tested and strengthened. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." He saw challenges as opportunities to develop virtues like patience, courage, and resilience. It's a perspective that encourages us to lean into discomfort, knowing that it's through struggle that we grow. Let's make this practical. Picture yourself in a tense personal conflict, an argument with a loved one that's left you feeling hurt and misunderstood. The easy path is to lash out or withdraw, to let anger or resentment take over. But the Stoic path calls for a different approach. It invites you to pause, to step outside the immediate emotion and to ask, what is within my control? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? Perhaps it's choosing to listen more deeply, to empathize, or to express your feelings with kindness instead of hostility. The conflict becomes not just a problem to solve, but a chance to practice compassion and strengthen your bond. The power of Stoicism lies in its simplicity. It doesn't ask us to deny our emotions or suppress our humanity. Instead, it encourages us to understand our emotions, to acknowledge them without letting them control us. It's about responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." It's a call to focus on what truly matters, our thoughts, our actions, and our integrity. Stoicism also teaches us the importance of gratitude. In a world that often pushes us to chase more success, more possessions, more recognition, the Stoics remind us to appreciate what we already have. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." This doesn't mean we shouldn't have goals or aspirations. It means we should find contentment in the present moment, even as we strive for growth. Let's take a simple example. Think about the last time you truly savored a moment. Maybe it was the warmth of the sun on your face, the laughter of a friend, or the quiet satisfaction of completing a task. These moments, small as they might seem, are the essence of life. Yet how often do we rush past them, our minds consumed by worries about the future or regrets about the past? Stoicism invites us to slow down, to be fully present, and to recognize the abundance that surrounds us. Gratitude isn't just about appreciating the good times, it's also about finding value in the challenges. When life throws us a curveball, our first instinct might be to resist or complain. But the Stoics saw adversity as a teacher. They believed that every difficulty carries within it the seeds of growth and transformation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." It's a powerful reminder that obstacles aren't just barriers, they're pathways to progress. Imagine you've faced a series of setbacks in your career. It's tempting to see them as failures, to let self-doubt creep in. But what if you viewed them through a Stoic lens? What if you asked, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger? By reframing the narrative, you turn failure into feedback and setbacks into stepping stones. It's not about denying the difficulty of the experience, it's about choosing to see its potential. Stoicism also challenges us to examine our desires. In a culture that often equates happiness with material wealth or external success, the Stoics remind us that true contentment comes from within. Seneca warned against the endless pursuit of more, writing, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This doesn't mean we shouldn't aspire or achieve. It means we should anchor our happiness in something deeper, our values, our relationships, and our sense of purpose. Let's circle back to the idea of control. At its core, Stoicism is about distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't. This simple yet profound concept can transform the way we approach life. When we stop wasting energy on things outside our control, like other people's opinions or the whims of fate, we free ourselves to focus on what truly matters. We become more intentional, more grounded, and more resilient. In the end, Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a way of life. It's a practice that calls us to live with purpose, to embrace challenges as opportunities, and to find joy in the journey. It's a reminder that while we can't control every twist and turn of life, we can control how we navigate them, and in that choice lies our true power. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of purpose so unshakable that no obstacle, no criticism, and no unexpected twist could deter you. This is not about being superhuman or emotionless. It's about being deeply connected to what truly matters. Stoicism teaches us this sense of purpose, an anchor in the storm, a guiding star that keeps us steady no matter how turbulent the waters become. The Stoics were obsessed with the idea of living a virtuous life. To them, virtue wasn't some lofty, unattainable ideal. It was practical, actionable, and deeply personal. It was about aligning your actions with your values, about doing what's right even when it's hard, and about striving to be the best version of yourself every single day. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, captured this when he said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." These words cut through the noise and call us to action. They remind us that we don't need to debate or justify our intentions. We need to live them. Think about the times you've felt lost or adrift, unsure of your direction. It's a universal experience, one that often leaves us searching for clarity. The Stoics understood this feeling, and their response was both simple and profound. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. This isn't just about relinquishing worry. It's about pouring your energy into what you can influence, your actions, your thoughts, and your choices. Let's bring this to life with an example. Imagine you're working towards a goal, a big, ambitious dream that's close to your heart. Along the way, you encounter setbacks. Maybe a project doesn't go as planned, or someone doubts your abilities. The temptation is to spiral into frustration, to feel defeated or question your worth. But what if instead you took a Stoic approach? What if you asked yourself, what's within my control? You'd realize that while you can't control the obstacles or others' opinions, you can control your response. You can choose to adapt, to learn, and to keep moving forward with determination. This shift in focus, from external validation to internal alignment, is one of the most empowering aspects of Stoicism. Seneca put it beautifully when he said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." It's a reminder that while we can't predict or control the opportunities that come our way, we can prepare ourselves to meet them with readiness and resolve. And preparation isn't just about skills or resources. It's about cultivating the mindset to face whatever comes with grace and resilience. One of the greatest tools Stoicism offers us is the practice of intentional reflection. The Stoics believed in taking time to examine their actions, to ask whether they were living in alignment with their values. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations is essentially a diary of these reflections, a deeply personal account of a man striving to live virtuously while grappling with the immense responsibilities of ruling an empire. His reflections weren't about perfection, they were about progress. They were about recognizing mistakes, learning from them, and recommitting to his principles. Imagine applying this practice to your own life. At the end of each day, you take a few moments to ask yourself, did I act in accordance with my values? Did I show kindness, patience, and courage? Where did I fall short, and what can I do differently tomorrow? This isn't about self-criticism. It's about self-awareness. It's about becoming more intentional with your time, your energy, and your choices. Stoicism also teaches us to embrace the fleeting nature of life, not as something to fear, but as something to cherish. The concept of memento mori, remembering that we will die, might seem morbid at first glance, but it's deeply liberating. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't a call to despair. It's a call to live fully and authentically, to focus on what truly matters, and to let go of petty concerns. Think about how often we let trivial worries consume us. We stress over minor inconveniences, hold grudges over misunderstandings, or postpone our dreams for someday. Memento Mori challenges us to cut through this noise and ask, if today were my last day, would I be proud of how I lived it? It's a powerful reminder to prioritize connection, joy, and purpose over distraction, fear, and hesitation. Let's make this practical. Imagine you're hesitating to pursue something meaningful, maybe a creative project, a new career path, or a deeper connection with someone you care about. Fear holds you back. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. But when you embrace memento mori, those fears lose their grip. You realize that life is too precious to be ruled by what-ifs. You take the leap, not because you're certain of success, but because living fully means taking risks. Stoicism also offers profound wisdom on the subject of emotional resilience. Life will test us, that much is certain. We'll face losses, disappointments, and heartaches that threaten to overwhelm us. But the Stoics teach us that while we can't avoid pain, we can choose how we respond to it. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." This doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing emotions. It means approaching them with understanding and compassion. Imagine you've experienced a painful loss. The initial waves of grief are overwhelming, and that's okay. It's human. But over time, the Stoics would encourage you to gently examine your thoughts. Are you clinging to what you can't change? Are you magnifying the pain by resisting it? Stoicism invites us to honor our emotions without letting them define us. It's about finding strength not in avoidance, but in acceptance. In these moments, gratitude can be a lifeline. The Stoics were keenly aware of the importance of gratitude, even in the face of hardship. Seneca wrote, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." It's a reminder that even in our darkest times, there is light to be found. Maybe it's the support of a friend, a moment of quiet beauty, or the simple fact that we're still here, still capable of growth and change. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the hard parts of life. It means choosing to see the whole picture. It means recognizing that even amidst struggle, there is much to be thankful for. It's a practice that can transform not only how we experience adversity, but how we approach life itself. The Stoic path is not an easy one. It calls us to face life's challenges with courage, to examine our actions with honesty, and to live each day with purpose and intention. But in walking this path, we find something extraordinary, a sense of clarity, resilience, and peace that no external force can take away. It's not about being perfect, it's about striving, learning, and growing. And as we practice these principles, focusing on what we can control, embracing adversity as a teacher, and living with gratitude and purpose, we begin to see life in a new light. We stop merely existing and start truly living, with all the depth, richness, and meaning that entails. Stoicism, then, isn't just a philosophy. It's an invitation to live fully, to love deeply, and to meet each moment with grace. Imagine for a moment that life is a river. Sometimes it flows gently, carrying you effortlessly forward, and other times it rages, threatening to pull you under. Stoicism teaches us how to navigate these waters, not by fighting the current, but by learning to move with it. It's a philosophy that doesn't promise to remove challenges or struggles, but equips us with the tools to face them with strength and composure. One of the core principles of Stoicism is accepting the nature of change. Change is inevitable. It's as constant as the sunrise and the tides. Yet, so often we resist it, clinging to what's familiar and safe. The Stoics understood that this resistance only creates suffering. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." These words remind us that change isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace as a natural and necessary part of life. Think about a time in your life when change caught you off guard. Perhaps it was an unexpected move, the end of a relationship, or a shift in your career. Initially, it might have felt unsettling, even painful, but as time passed, you likely discovered that this change brought new opportunities, lessons, or perspectives you couldn't have imagined before. That's the beauty of accepting change. It opens the door to growth. The Stoics were masters of adapting to change because they focused on what they could control: their thoughts, their actions, and their mindset. Epictetus taught, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This wisdom isn't about passivity or resignation. It's about actively choosing how to respond to life's uncertainties. It's about meeting change not with fear, but with curiosity and resilience. Let's bring this into a modern context. Imagine you've been laid off from your job, a scenario that would send most of us into a tailspin of worry and self-doubt. A Stoic approach would encourage you to pause, to breathe, and to focus on what's within your control. Can you use this time to learn a new skill, explore a different career path, or reconnect with passions you'd set aside? The job loss doesn't define you, but your response to it does. By choosing to see this change as an opportunity rather than a setback, you reclaim your power. Stoicism also teaches us the value of living in the present moment. How often do we find ourselves trapped in the past, replaying regrets or mistakes, or projecting into the future, worrying about what's to come? The Stoics believed that true peace and happiness could only be found in the here and now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This isn't just a call to mindfulness. It's a reminder that the present moment is all we truly have. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the future or forgetting the past. It means finding balance. It's about learning from the past without dwelling on it, and planning for the future without letting it consume us. It's about recognizing the beauty and potential of the moment you're in right now. Imagine you're walking through a park, your mind buzzing with worries about an upcoming deadline or replaying a conversation that didn't go well. You're physically present, but your thoughts are elsewhere. A Stoic perspective would encourage you to pause, to notice the rustle of the leaves, the warmth of the sun, the sound of children laughing in the distance. These small, ordinary moments are life itself, and by grounding yourself in them, you rediscover a sense of calm and clarity. Another cornerstone of Stoicism is the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. This idea goes beyond mere acceptance of life's events. It invites us to embrace them fully, even the difficult and painful ones. Nietzsche, who was inspired by the Stoics, described amor fati as that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. Not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it, but love it. This may sound like an impossible ideal. How can we love the things that cause us pain or disrupt our plans? But amor fati isn't about pretending to enjoy suffering. It's about recognizing that every experience, no matter how challenging, is a thread in the fabric of our lives. It's about understanding that even the hard times shape who we are, teaching us resilience, empathy, and strength. Imagine you faced a major disappointment. Perhaps a project you poured your heart into didn't succeed, or a relationship you cherished came to an end. It's natural to feel hurt, to wish things were different. But amor fati encourages us to look deeper, to find the hidden value in the experience. What did you learn? How did it challenge you to grow? By embracing the event as part of your unique journey, you transform it from a source of regret into a source of wisdom. The Stoics also placed great emphasis on self-discipline, not as a form of restriction, but as a pathway to freedom. To them, self-discipline was about mastering your impulses, focusing your energy on what truly matters, and living in alignment with your values. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This power isn't about controlling the world, it's about controlling yourself. Think about a goal you've been striving for. Maybe it's improving your health, building a skill, or creating a meaningful habit. The path to that goal requires discipline, not in a rigid, punishing way, but in a focused, intentional way. It's about making choices that align with your long-term aspirations, even when it's hard. It's about saying no to distractions and yes to the things that nourish your growth. Self-discipline is also about consistency. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." This is a reminder that progress takes time, that small, steady steps are what lead to big changes. Imagine you're learning a new instrument. At first, the process feels slow and frustrating, but each practice session, no matter how small, builds on the last. Over time, those efforts compound, transforming you into someone who can play with confidence and joy. In the end, Stoicism is about living with intention. It's about embracing the flow of life, finding strength in adversity, and staying true to your values. It's about understanding that while we can't control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. And in that response lies our power, not to avoid the currents of life, but to navigate them with grace. Picture yourself standing at a fork in the road, faced with a decision that could shape the course of your life. It might be a career choice, a relationship, or even a seemingly small moment that carries unexpected weight. These crossroads can feel daunting, as if the weight of the world rests on your shoulders. But Stoicism offers a guiding light in these moments, a way to navigate uncertainty with clarity and purpose. At the heart of Stoic thought is the idea of aligning our decisions with our values. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, constantly reminded himself to act with justice, wisdom, courage, and self-discipline. These weren't abstract ideals for him, they were practical tools for decision-making. When faced with uncertainty, the Stoics would ask themselves, "What is the virtuous path? What choice aligns with my principles and the person I strive to be?" This approach simplifies even the most complex dilemmas, cutting through the noise of fear and doubt. Let's imagine a modern scenario. You've been offered a promotion at work, a role that promises more money and prestige, but also demands long hours and sacrifices in your personal life. The allure of success pulls you one way, but the thought of losing time with loved ones pulls you another. A Stoic perspective would encourage you to pause and reflect. What do you value most? Is it recognition and financial security, or is it relationships and personal time? Neither choice is inherently right or wrong, but the Stoic approach asks you to choose consciously, based on what aligns with your deeper values. This clarity isn't just about making big decisions, it's about how we approach everyday life. Every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the person we become. Seneca said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Each decision is a step forward, a moment where we either reinforce our virtues or drift away from them." The Stoics teach us to make those steps deliberate, to walk our path with intention. Another profound aspect of Stoicism is its emphasis on resilience in the face of loss. Life is filled with moments of impermanence. Relationships end, opportunities slip away, loved ones pass on. These experiences can leave us feeling untethered, struggling to make sense of the void they leave behind. But the Stoics viewed loss not as something to fear, but as an inevitable part of life's flow. They taught that by accepting impermanence, we can learn to cherish what we have while it's here and let go gracefully when it's gone. Epictetus offered a practice for this. When you kiss your child goodnight, silently remind yourself that this moment is precious because it is fleeting. This isn't about being morbid, it's about cultivating gratitude and presence. By recognizing the impermanence of all things, we deepen our appreciation for the present moment. Loss becomes not an enemy, but a teacher, reminding us to live fully and love deeply. Imagine you've lost something dear to you, a friendship that faded, a dream that didn't come to fruition, or even a cherished possession. The initial pang of loss is unavoidable, but Stoicism invites us to reflect. What did this bring to my life while I had it? What lessons, joy, or growth did it offer? By shifting our focus from the absence to the value it brought, we honor what was without being consumed by its loss. This practice extends to how we handle criticism and judgment from others. The world is full of opinions, some constructive, others harsh and unwarranted. It's easy to let these voices dictate our sense of self-worth. But the Stoics remind us that other people's judgments are outside our control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Imagine someone criticizes your work or dismisses your efforts. The sting is real, but a Stoic would urge you to pause and ask, is this criticism valid? Does it offer an opportunity for growth? Or is it simply noise I don't need to internalize? By separating the signal from the noise, you free yourself from being a prisoner to others' opinions. Your focus shifts back to what you can control, your actions, your efforts, and your integrity. This idea of focusing inward also applies to how we define success. Modern society often equates success with external achievements, wealth, fame, accolades. But Stoicism measures success differently. It's not about how much you have or how many people admire you. It's about living in accordance with your values, about being at peace with who you are. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." True wealth to the Stoics is found in contentment and virtue. Imagine redefining success in your own life. Instead of chasing the next promotion or bigger paycheck, what if you focused on becoming a better version of yourself? What if your measure of success was the kindness you showed others, the courage you displayed in difficult times, or the wisdom you cultivated through reflection? This shift isn't about abandoning ambition, it's about grounding it in something meaningful. Another key element of Stoic practice is the idea of premeditatio malorum, anticipating adversity. The Stoics would actively visualize potential challenges, not to dwell on negativity, but to prepare themselves mentally and emotionally. Marcus Aurelius, for example, would start his day by reminding himself that he might encounter difficult people or unforeseen obstacles. This wasn't pessimism, it was preparation. By expecting challenges, he could meet them with calm and resilience when they arose. Think about how this might apply to your own life. Before a big meeting, a challenging conversation, or a significant event, take a moment to visualize the possible hurdles. Imagine how you would respond, staying true to your values and maintaining your composure. This practice doesn't eliminate difficulties, but it equips you to face them with a steady heart and mind. Ultimately, Stoicism is a philosophy of empowerment. It reminds us that while we can't control the waves of life, we can control how we steer our ship. It calls us to focus on what truly matters, our character, our values, and the legacy we leave behind. It's not about striving for perfection, but about striving for progress, about walking through life with a sense of purpose and resilience. As you navigate your own journey, remember that each choice, each moment, is an opportunity to align more closely with the person you aspire to be. The Stoics offer timeless wisdom, not as a set of rigid rules, but as a guide to living with intention, courage, and grace. In their teachings, we find a path not just to surviving life's challenges, but to thriving in their midst. Life, with all its unpredictability, often feels like a test of endurance. Yet, Stoicism reminds us that it's not the weight of the world that breaks us, but how we choose to carry it. This ancient philosophy teaches us that our strength doesn't come from avoiding challenges. It comes from embracing them, learning from them, and growing because of them. It's a mindset that transforms adversity into opportunity and helps us navigate the complexities of life with resilience and grace. Central to this idea is the concept of obstacles as opportunities. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." At first glance, this might seem counterintuitive. How can something blocking your path be the very thing that moves you forward? But when you dig deeper, it becomes clear. Every challenge we face is an invitation to grow. It's not the obstacle itself that defines us, but how we respond to it. Let's imagine you're facing a difficult situation, a strained relationship, a professional setback, or a personal goal that feels just out of reach. The natural reaction might be frustration or despair, to see the challenge as something to be avoided or endured. But the Stoics would encourage a different perspective. They'd ask, what can this situation teach you? How can you use it to become stronger, wiser, or more compassionate? By shifting your mindset, you transform the challenge from a roadblock into a stepping stone. Consider the example of Thomas Edison. When his laboratory burned down in 1914, destroying years of work, he didn't wallow in despair. Instead, he famously said, "Thank goodness all our mistakes were burned up. Now we can start fresh." This isn't just a story of optimism, it's a demonstration of Stoic resilience. Edison couldn't control the fire, but he could control his response. And in choosing to focus on the opportunity rather than the loss, he found the strength to rebuild. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of maintaining perspective. So often our problems feel overwhelming because we view them in isolation, forgetting the bigger picture. The Stoics would encourage us to take a step back, to zoom out and see our struggles in the context of a much larger story. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is a reminder that while we can't control the waves of life, we can control how we navigate them. Imagine you're dealing with a minor inconvenience, a delayed flight, a missed appointment, or a disagreement with a friend. In the moment, it might feel frustrating, even infuriating. But what if you paused and asked yourself, will this matter a year from now, or even a month from now? Suddenly, the problem shrinks. This isn't about dismissing your feelings. It's about putting them in perspective. It's about recognizing that most of life's irritations are fleeting and don't deserve the energy we give them. This perspective also applies to how we handle criticism and failure. Seneca wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." At first, this might sound bleak, but it's actually liberating. It's a reminder that life is full of challenges and imperfections, and that's okay. By accepting this reality, we free ourselves from the pressure to be perfect or to avoid mistakes. Instead, we can focus on learning, growing, and becoming better. Imagine you failed at something you deeply cared about, a project, a relationship, or a personal goal. The sting of failure is real, but the Stoics would urge you to see it as a teacher rather than a verdict. What did you learn from the experience? How can you use that knowledge to improve? Failure, when viewed through a Stoic lens, isn't the end of the story. It's a pivotal chapter in a much larger narrative. Another cornerstone of Stoicism is the practice of self-discipline. This isn't about denying yourself pleasure or living a rigid life. It's about aligning your actions with your values and long-term goals. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen." This is a powerful reminder that growth takes time and that self-discipline is the patience to stay the course. Imagine you're trying to develop a new habit, exercising regularly, learning a skill, or cultivating mindfulness. The initial enthusiasm might carry you for a while, but eventually you hit a wall. It's in these moments that self-discipline becomes essential. The Stoics would encourage you to focus not on immediate gratification, but on the bigger picture. Each small step, each act of discipline, is a brick in the foundation of the life you're building. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. The Stoics understood that we're all works in progress, and they embraced the idea of incremental improvement. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This is a call to take responsibility, not in a burdensome way, but as an act of empowerment. You have the power to choose how you respond, to decide what meaning you assign to your experiences. Finally, Stoicism teaches us the art of gratitude. In a world that often pushes us to chase more success, more possessions, more recognition, the Stoics remind us to appreciate what we already have. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Gratitude shifts our focus from lack to abundance, from longing to contentment. Imagine ending each day with a simple reflection. What am I grateful for today? Maybe it's the support of a friend, the beauty of a sunset, or the satisfaction of a job well done. These moments, small as they might seem, are the fabric of a meaningful life. By practicing gratitude, we train our minds to notice and cherish them. In the end, Stoicism isn't about avoiding life's difficulties. It's about embracing them as opportunities to grow, to deepen our understanding, and to live with intention. It's a philosophy that invites us to step into life fully, with all its messiness and beauty, and to navigate it with courage, resilience, and grace. Through its teachings, we learn that our true power lies not in controlling the world, but in mastering ourselves. And in that mastery, we find freedom, purpose, and peace. Life is a canvas, and every choice we make adds a brushstroke to the masterpiece of our existence. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, teach us to paint deliberately, with intention and clarity. They remind us that while we cannot control the events of life, we can control the meaning we give them, the effort we put forth, and the values we embody. This is not a passive resignation to fate. It is an active engagement with the art of living. One of the most profound lessons of Stoicism is the understanding that we are temporary. The concept of memento mori, remembering our mortality, is not meant to cast a shadow over life, but to shine a light on its urgency and beauty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This reminder is a call to action, to live not out of fear, but with a deep sense of presence and purpose. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast open field at sunrise. The sky is ablaze with colors, and you're struck by the fleeting beauty of the moment. You know it won't last forever, but that impermanence makes it even more precious. Life is much like that sunrise, ephemeral yet breathtaking. Memento mori teaches us to cherish each moment, to express our love, to pursue what truly matters, and to let go of the trivial concerns that so often consume us. Stoicism also challenges us to embrace interconnectedness. Marcus Aurelius reflected deeply on the idea that we are all part of a greater whole. He wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." This wisdom urges us to recognize our shared humanity and to contribute to the well-being of others. Kindness, compassion, and cooperation are not just noble ideals, they are essential aspects of a life well lived. Imagine the ripple effect of a single act of kindness. A smile, a word of encouragement, or a helping hand can brighten someone's day, inspiring them to pass that positivity on to others. The Stoics understood that we are social beings, deeply connected to one another. By living virtuously and contributing to the common good, we not only enhance our own lives, but also create a more harmonious world. Another enduring teaching of Stoicism is the importance of living in alignment with nature, not just the natural world, but our own human nature. The Stoics believed that we are rational beings, capable of reflection and growth, and that our purpose lies in living virtuously. To act with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline is to fulfill our true nature. It's a path that leads not only to personal fulfillment, but also to a sense of harmony with the universe. Imagine the clarity that comes from living in alignment with your values. When your actions reflect your principles, you experience a deep sense of integrity and peace. You are no longer pulled in conflicting directions by external pressures or fleeting desires. Instead, you move through life with confidence and purpose, knowing that you are staying true to who you are. Stoicism also teaches us to let go of the things that weigh us down, resentments, fears, and attachments to outcomes we cannot control. Seneca wrote, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." This isn't just about physical distraction, but also mental clutter. How often do we scatter our energy, chasing after things that don't truly matter? The Stoics remind us to focus on what is essential, to simplify our lives so we can devote ourselves fully to what brings meaning and joy. Imagine releasing the burdens that hold you back, the grudge you've been nursing, the fear of failure, the endless quest for approval. What if you let them go? What if instead you channeled that energy into the things that truly nourish your soul? This act of letting go isn't about giving up. It's about creating space for growth, connection, and fulfillment. As we reflect on the lessons of Stoicism, it becomes clear that this philosophy is not about lofty abstractions. It's a guide to living a rich and purposeful life in the here and now. It's about embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, finding strength in adversity, cultivating gratitude for the beauty that surrounds us. It's about living with intention, aligning our actions with our values, and contributing to the greater good. Imagine waking up each day with the mindset of a Stoic. You greet the morning with gratitude, knowing that each day is a gift. You approach challenges with curiosity and resilience, seeing them as opportunities to learn. You act with kindness and integrity, building connections that enrich your life and the lives of others. And when the day is done, you reflect with humility and grace, learning from your experiences and preparing to do better tomorrow. The Stoics were not perfect, and they didn't expect us to be either. They understood that life is a journey, a process of becoming. Their teachings remind us that it's not about reaching some final destination of enlightenment, but about how we walk the path. Each moment, each choice is an opportunity to grow, to align more closely with our values, and to live with greater clarity and purpose. So as you move forward, carry these lessons with you. Focus on what you can control. Embrace the present moment. Meet challenges with courage and grace. Live with kindness, integrity, and gratitude. And above all, remember that you are the author of your story. Each day, Each decision is a chance to write a chapter that reflects the best of who you are. Life will always have its twists and turns, its moments of joy and sorrow, triumph and defeat. But through the lens of Stoicism, we see that every experience is part of a larger journey, one that is rich, meaningful, and uniquely our own. It's not about avoiding the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain, to find beauty in the chaos, and to live with courage and love in every breath.